Srimad Bhagavatam 5:19-28 through 30. We will just chant the 28th verse. Yadi Krishna. You must tell me before now. You must tell me before. When I'm going live, Srimad Bhagavatam 5:19-28. Yadi atra nah swarga sukha avasheshitam su ishtasya su uktasya kritasya shobhanam tena ajanabhe smritimat janma nah syat varshe harih yat bhajatam sham tanoti. यद्यत्र नः स्वर्गसुखावशेषितम् स्विष्टस्य सूक्तस्य कृतस्य शोभनम् तेनाजनाभे स्मृतिमज्जन्मनः स्यात् वर्षे हरिर्यद्भजतां शं तनोति. Okay. Yadi, if atra, in this heavenly planet, nah, of us, swarga sukha avasheshitam, whatever remains after the enjoyment of heavenly happiness, suishtasya, of a perfect sacrifice, suuktasya, of diligently studying the Vedic literature, kritasya, of having performed a kind act, shobhanam, the resultant actions, tena, by such a resultant action, ajanabhe, in the land of Bharatavarsha, smritimat janma, a birth enabling one to remember the lotus feet of the Lord, nah, of us, syat, let there be, varshe, in the land, Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Yat, wherein, Bhajatam, of the devotees, Sham Tanoti, expands the auspiciousness. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: We are now living in the heavenly planets, undoubtedly as a result of our having performed ritualistic ceremonies, pious activities and yajnas, and having studied the Vedas. However, our lives here will one day be finished. We pray that at that time, if any merit remains from our pious activities, we may again take birth in Bharatavarsha as human beings able to remember the lotus feet of the Lord. The Lord is so kind that He personally comes to the land of Bharatavarsha and expands the good fortune of its people. Please repeat, we are now living in the heavenly planets, undoubtedly as a result of our having performed ritualistic ceremonies, pious activities and yajnas, and having studied the Vedas. However, our lives here will one day be finished. We pray that at that time, if any merit remains from our pious activities, we may again take birth in Bharatavarsha as human beings, able to remember the lotus feet of the Lord. The Lord is so kind that He personally comes to the land of Bharatavarsha and expands the good fortune of its people. Purport. It is certainly as a result of pious activities that one takes birth in the heavenly planets, but from those planets one must nevertheless come down again to earth, as stated in Bhagavad Gita, Kshine Punye Martyalokam Vishanti 9:21. Even the demigods must return to earth to work like ordinary men when the results of their pious activities expire. Nevertheless, the demigods desire to come to the land of Bharatavarsha if even a small portion of the merits of their pious activities remains. In other words, to take birth in Bharatavarsha, one must perform more pious activities than the demigods. In Bharatavarsha, one is naturally Krishna conscious, and if one further cultivates his Krishna consciousness, by the grace of Krishna, he certainly expands his good fortune by becoming perfect in Krishna consciousness and very easily going back home, back to Godhead. Where is he? Where? In many other places in the Vedic literature, it is found that even the demigods want to come to this land of Bharatavarsha. A foolish person may desire to be promoted to the heavenly planets as a result of his pious activities, but even the demigods from the heavenly planets want to come to Bharatavarsha and achieve bodies that may be very easily used to cultivate Krishna consciousness. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu repeatedly says, Bharata bhumite hoilo manushya janma jar, janma sarthak kare karo paropakar. CC Adi 941. A human being born in the land of Bharatavarsha has the special prerogative to develop Krishna consciousness. Therefore, those already born in Bharatavarsha should take lessons from the Shastras and Guru and should fully take advantage of the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in order to be fully equipped with Krishna consciousness. By taking full advantage of Krishna consciousness, one goes back home, back to Godhead. Yanti madhyajinopi mam. Bhagavad Gita 9:25. The Krishna consciousness movement is therefore spreading this facility to human society by opening many, many centers all over the world so that people may associate with the pure devotees of the Krishna consciousness movement, understand the signs of Krishna consciousness, and ultimately go back home, back to Godhead. 29 and 30. Shri Shuka Uvacha Jambu Dvipasya Charajan Upadvipan Ashtauhaika Upadishanti Sagaratma Jair Ashwanveshana Imam Mahim Parito Nikhanadhir Upakalpitan Tad Yatha Swarnaprasthas Chandra Shukla Avartano Ramanako Mandara Harinah Panchajanyah Simhalo Lanketi. Simhala. Interesting. Simhala is a province, is an island, and Singhal is the language of Sri Lanka. Actually, it's Simhala. It's coming from Simhala, which is an island adjacent to Bharatavarsha. Now, it looks very much like the present India and the island beside it, but actually, this is in the Bharatavarsha of the Bhumandala, which is different, which is more expansive than the Bharatavarsha of India. The entire world of today is part of that Bharatavarsha in this Bhumandala. But there seems to be a prototype of all those islands, all those places on this earth as well. Anyway, it's a whole another topic. So Lanka is also mentioned here. Simhala is mentioned. There are two different provinces, and now pretty much Sinhalese is the language in Sri Lanka. The translation, Sri Shukadeva Goswami said, "My dear king, in the opinion of some learned scholars, 8 smaller islands surround Jambudvipa." This is the whole of Jambudvipa. And Bharatvarsha is actually on the southern portion of Jambudvipa. If you see the entire Puranic map of Bhumandala, the first circle, concentric circle island is called Jambudvipa around the Meru mountain. And to the south of that, there seems to be some islands, of which Lanka and Simhala are 2 of them, 9 islands, 8 islands, I think. Yeah, 8 islands. Surround Jambudvipa. So, Lanka and Simhala must be in the south. The other 6 must be in other directions. So, anyway, translation. Sri Sukadeva. Screen is blurred. It looks all right here. The screen looks all right here.
Okay, it looks all right. I think it will be for you. Plus, you will also say blur. Yeah, because
Is it?
no, very
Okay. I do not know why, but I can try again.
yeah, very good that it will be spoken. Position must be very good. Please thank you. Fix it.
So please let me know how it is now. Is it? Huh? Now okay. Okay. Thank you very much. How is the audio? Let me know. My dear king, in the opinion of some learned scholars, 8 smaller islands surround Jambudvipa. When the sons of Maharaj Sagar were searching all over the world for their lost horse, they dug up the earth, and in this way 8 adjoining islands came into existence. The names of these islands are Swarnaprastha, Chandrashukla, Avartana, Ramanaka, Mandaraharina, Panchajanya, Simhala, and Lanka. Is the audio okay? Purport. In the Kurma Puran, there is a statement about the desires of the demigods. Anadhikarino devaha swargastha bharatodbhavam vanchantyatma vimokshartham mudre karthe dhikarinah. Although the demigods are situated in exalted positions in the heavenly planets, they nevertheless desire to descend to the land of Bharatavarsha on the planet Earth. This indicates that even the demigods are unfit to reside in Bharatavarsha. Therefore, if persons already born in Bharatavarsha live like cats and dogs, not taking full advantage of their birth in this land, they are certainly unfortunate. I should have put 31, but I put 30 in the live stream title. Anyway, I'll change it later. एवं तव भारतोत्तम जम्बूद्वीपवर्ष विभागो यथोपदेशम उपवर्णित इति. Translation. My dear King Parikshit, O best of the descendants of Bharat Maharaj, I have thus described to you, as I myself have been instructed, the island of Bharatavarsha and its adjoining islands. These are the islands that constitute Jambudvipa. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purpose of the 5th canto, 19th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled A Description of the Island of Jambudvipa. Okay, so studying the structure of the universe, very interesting. It's a very controversial topic. We were having a discussion of this in Amalapuram with Prahlad Prabhu and Shyam Govinda Prabhu. So anyway, coming back to the topic. Actually, I titled this as India's Message of Peace and Goodwill. That's because that was the title of Prabhupada's pamphlet to promote Srimad Bhagavatam when he went to America. He had a pamphlet that he prepared to promote Bhagavatam. And the title of that was India's Message of Peace and Goodwill. I'm yet to find a copy of that. I searched, couldn't find, but it was referenced many times, spoken about many times. So I just wrote, before this class started, I wrote to Bhaktivedanta Archives and emailed them asking if they have a copy of it, because I would like to see how Prabhupada promoted it, how he created pamphlet. So, for this reason, I wanted to go to the verse that was quoted in the purport. Actually, before we go there, I think there is something in this verse, 28th verse, which is very nice. If you see, it requires more piety to live in Bharatavarsha than in the heavenly planets. So there is an inversion of understanding. Many people in India, they say, oh, Swarga Prapti ho gaya. He has gone to heaven when somebody passes away. But heaven is not a very good place because there's too much sense gratification. But that is not very conducive for our Krishna consciousness. And therefore, even the demigods are saying here that if any, what is that? The exact words they used were Swarga Sukha Avasheshitam. Swarga Sukhavasheshitam. Avashesha. Bhakta Pada Dhuliyar Bhakta Pada Jal Bhakta Bhukta Avashesha Teen Mahabhal. Avashesha means remnant. Shesha means finish. So after finish, Avashesha is the remnants. So Swarga Sukha Avasheshitam, that means the remnants of Swarga Sukha. Or Sukha is actually, Sukha and Dukha are nothing but reactions to past activities. So Swarga Sukha Avasheshitam, the remnants of any pious effects of their previous pious activities, if there are remaining, let us take in the birth in the Bharatavarsha. They are praying like that. Svishtasya Suktasya Kritasya Shobhanam. So by perfectly performing sacrifices, studying the Vedas and performing all kinds of pious activities, they have gone to the heavenly planets. But there is a big Indriya Utsava there, Atishayendriya Utsava. In that 5:19:22 verse, it is Atishayendriya Utsava. Atishaya means excessive, and Indriya means senses, Utsava means festival. There is a festival for the senses, sense gratification festivals. Just like, there are so many festivals here on this earth, like clubbing is an Indriya Utsava, where there is drinking, women, meat eating, gambling, all kinds of things are going on there. So that's a Indriya Utsava. Similar activities are going on in heavenly planets. Maybe in a little bit more of goodness, but the thing is, forgetfulness of Krishna is sinful, the real sin. More of goodness is only praised because it is nearer to Krishna consciousness, but it is still not Krishna consciousness yet. Krishna consciousness is Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabditam. When we Turiya Guna, every day morning, Turiya Guna Sampannam, Nana Guna Manoharam, Ananda Saurabham Pushpam Grihitam Adamuttamam. So there is a mantra for offering the flower. So what is the Turiya Guna Sampannam? What is Turiya means? You know what is Turiya? You know that mantra, right? What is that mantra? What is that word means? Turiya. Turiya means fourth. Fourth. Turiya Guna. Yes. Pado Yudiyo, Prathama Dvitiyo, Tritiya Turiyo. Turiya means fourth. So Turiya Guna means what then? Guna means quality. Fourth quality. What is that? You know, that's why we should know what we're chanting. The fourth, what is guna? Sattvagun, Rajagun, Tamagun, the three guna. Traigunya, Vishaya Veda. Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna. Rise above the three modes, that is the fourth mode. Turiya Guna. Huh? Yes, Shuddha Sattva. Shuddha Sattva or Vasudeva Sthiti, it is also called. So that platform is Turiya Guna Sampannam, enriched with the fourth mode, which is beyond the three modes. So, Krishna consciousness is on the Shuddha Sattva platform. Sattvam Vishuddham. Vishuddham means completely purified. Vasudeva Shabditam. That state is called Vasudeva state. So, mode of goodness is only praised because it is a platform from which we can springboard to the fourth mode. Actually, that is the first mode. These three are later on. Our original thing is there. But when we say fourth, it is because from our perspective it is fourth. You know? Just like Devi, Mahesha, Haridhama, Suteshu, Teshu. The order is from us, from our perspective. Otherwise, first is Haridham. So that is the eternal Dham. This is the temporary Dham. So we have to understand that mode of goodness is like the airport. In Singapore, there is airport, there is the normal city. Now, in the airport, if you are in the Changi airport of Singapore, you're still in Singapore. Like you will be the same distance from New Delhi as from this temple. This temple to New Delhi and Changi airport to New Delhi, it's pretty much the same distance. So even if we are in the airport, we are as far away from the New Delhi as we are in the temple. But in the airport, there is a facility from where we can fly. So similarly, from Sattvagun, which is still in the material world, from Sattvagun to spiritual world, it is just as far as Tamagun, because we're all in this material world. Like the person next door, the meat eating the shop there, that hawker center, he and we are same distance from the spiritual world. But we are trying to be in the mode of goodness here, or rise above the three modes, at least goodness. So we are closer in that sense. We are in a more favorable circumstance from which to springboard to spiritual status. So similarly, demigods are supposed to be like that. They are supposed to be in the goodness, but there's too much goodness, so it's distracting. So they sometimes forget the misery of the material world, and therefore they may lose impetus to actually get out of here. That's the problem. They may lose the impetus to get out of here. What are you doing? Let others share. Finish. You should have a notebook with you. It's more important. So, where is the notebook? So Ajnabhe Smritimat Janma, this is another important word here. Smritimat Janma means a birth enabling one to remember the lotus feet of the Lord. Actually, uh, otherwise there is no meaning of this. Smritimat Janma means we actually don't remember our past life or anything. So why it says Smriti? Our memory is not so good as the demigods. Nothing. In fact, Vyasadeva wrote so many books for us because we are hopeless. So what is a Smritimat Janma means? That means there is a lot of facility for us to remember Krishna. There are so many temples, so many holy places, and especially in the Bharatvarsha of today. In fact, even in Pakistan, there so many when that was part of Bharatvarsha. In Burma, all these places were full of so many temples. Now, at least in India, that culture is still there, and then there are so many holy places where Krishna walked, Ramchandra walked, and pastimes of devotees like Ahobilam is there, Prahlad Maharaj, Narsimha, so many things, so many places all over India, everywhere there are so many holy places. So it's very easy, even if say somebody is away from Vrindavan or Mathura, even if there is far away in South India, there are so many South Indian holy places like Sri Rangam, Adikeshwar Temple, Guruvayur Temple, Udupi, Krishna Temple, Pandharpur in Maharashtra, Orissa there is Jagannath, Mayapur, and there is even there is Mithila, there is Ayodhya, Gaya, Prayag, Kashi, all the way until north, full of holy places everywhere. That's why even although the national anthem of India is kind of some prayer or worshipping of the land of birth, but actually the national anthem of India lists all these places, different holy places. But if you see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he said Bharata Bhumite Manusya Janma Hoile Jar, Janma Sarthak Kare Karo Paropakar, at that time the present Bharatvarsha was not a united country like now. It was full of so many kingdoms. So if anything, it probably is the blessing of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that it has now become one country, so that there can be a united force. If properly managed, if properly administered, this mission can be propagated in a unified way instead of many kingdoms fighting with each other, Bharata Bhumi split and part of it destroyed. If suppose it was some Muslim area, they would have destroyed all the temples by now. So so those things, fortunately, at least it is in one country. Still, there is so much problems going on. There is Waqf land. They have occupied illegitimately. So all that things are still going on. But with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, that's why I want to read that 941, 936 and 941 and purport of 941, which is very nice. Okay, let's go to 936 Adi. अतएव आमी आज्ञा दिलूं सबाकारे, जहां तहां प्रेम फल देहो जारे तारे. Therefore, I order every man within this universe, not just Bharata Bhumite Manusya, but every man within this universe to accept this Krishna consciousness movement and distribute it everywhere. So, this is his order to everyone. Now, let's go to 941. He says Bharata Bhumite. So, because he said this, I feel, this is my speculation, but because he said Bharata Bhumite hoile manusya janma jar, janma sarthak kari karo paropakar, because of this reason, India has united as one country, although it was not that case 500 years ago when he said this. You see, Bharata of India. You see, to even able to translate like this, India, as one country now, to be able to translate like this in English would not have been possible. Probably would have been, but it wouldn't make much sense if everything was so divided. And it would be very difficult. And eventually, it is said in the Kali Yuga that Bharatavarsha will be only that land alongside the Ganga river. It will break up actually. It will not stay united like this. But hopefully, at least in this, why the thing? How come it's on the floor? So to even be able to unite, at least now in this time of crucial period where this movement has to be spread, it is certainly helpful that India is one country now. There is certainly a lot that can be done with this, and that is actually the blessings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and whoever has played the part of uniting. I think Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel and party. Not much credit should be given to Gandhi. If anything, he divided, he and Jawaharlal Nehru divided. It should have been further, Pakistan also. Anyway, whatever, that's Kali Yuga. Kali means dissension. So at least in this age of dissension, to have this united land in one sense is a blessing. At least, from in India, within India, you can freely roam from one holy place to another holy place without much. Imagine, I was just reading the in the Chaitanya Charitamrita class on Monday about Madhavendra Puri's Chandan Yatra Leela. So how he was asked he was actually in Govardhan. He was living in Govardhan, and the Gopal deity, he got a dream, then he found a Gopal deity in the forest, buried because of Muslims invasion. He unearthed the deity and established, and then the deity came, all the villages all together worshipped, and then the deity came in the dream of Madhavendra Puri, asked him to get some chandan from Utkal province, Odisha, Jagannath Puri, Remuna, that side. So, Balasore, yeah. So there is sandalwood. There was sandalwood there. So the Lord asked him in the dream to bring sandalwood all the way from there. So then he walked. He walked all the way, 2,000 kilometers, going through all the forests, different provinces, toll gates, everything, borders of different countries, kingdoms. And he reached there, got sandalwood, and then the whole pastime of Shirchora Gopinath happened there. And the Lord Gopinath in Remuna started interacting with Madhavendra Puri. From there, Gopal, here Gopinath. Then he became famous there in Utkal province. And then he got the dream that, please, whatever chandan you have collected, because he collected chandan, you arrange for the chandan paste to be made and apply to Gopinath here only. And the reason is that the Lord did not want him to go through all these toll gate again, because chandan and karpur supposed to be mixed there and then applied to the Lord. But that is very expensive thing. It's a very valuable item, sandalwood. So much sandalwood, heavy. So if he would carry such heavy thing across Muslim states, at that time the condition was very bad. So not only toll gate and all this, he would be robbed or he would be killed even. So much danger was there. So the Lord did not want him to put through that danger. Although Madhavendra Puri was more than glad to, he had all the customs documentation also. It is said that papers also were there those days. And definitely you would have to have those papers in regional languages and Arabic. They were Persian, you have to have Arabic, because they made it mandatory when the Muslims invaded that for all official purposes, Arabic has to be used. And that's why Rupa and Sanatana Goswamis were experts in Arabic language as well, because they were dealing with Nawab Hussain Shah and all that government stuff. So he had to have these papers in so many languages to cross these borders. So much trouble. So imagine if today that was the case, or even further fragmented, it would be hell. It would get done probably in some way or the other, but some provinces will be more hostile than others, like all kinds of complications will be there, but at least now it's one country. So that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's blessing, in fact, and we should capitalize on this. So, one thing is, what we take as constants are not constants. For example, social media, we may take it as constant. It may go away. Even if the technology does not go away, there may be censorship laws which may not allow us to even reach. Now we are in the golden age of these 10,000 years. We're in a super golden age, like maybe titanium or I don't know what age now, where vast and super fast transmission of knowledge can happen. It may not be like this all the way. Even if the technology gets developed, but because people will be, say for example, worried about privacy, they will have privacy laws, they will have hate speech laws, they will have so many things to censor what we can or cannot say on the social media, and according to what they deem to be appropriate. And if what if one day the government comes and says, like in China, all religion is not appropriate. In North Korea, all religion is not, you have to worship that idiot there, that fatso who's sitting there in North Korea. So imagine if things become like that. So they may have, like China is even way more advanced than the United States in the matter of social media. They have far more reach, far more sophistication. But you see how they have curtailed everything. You cannot access Facebook or YouTube from China unless you have VPNs, and even that also they're kind of blocking. I went to Russia last year, and while we were there was a news that came out that the government is thinking of censoring YouTube in Russia. So these things can happen which can limit the reach with which we can address everyone. So now we have something which by inevitably one day will be gone. It will be gone. And all the free transport that we have, we take these for granted. The aeroplane, the ship and everything. But what if tomorrow there are hostile borders? Already the world is moving to a multipolar world right now. It's no more the few decades of a little bit of freedom of movement that we had. Although there was so much undercurrent going on, political undercurrent, geopolitics. But today, at least we can travel in different countries. We can, I'll meet you, come and meet you, and then we can 4 hours later we are in India. We can do that now. What if it's not there? Like recently there was this bombing in the Middle East, and so many what is that? United Arab Emirates, Emirates Airlines, Qatar Airlines, all these flights were blocked. No more for a while when there was huge bombing going on between the two. I think Syria and Israel, Palestine, all that, Gaza stuff. So there was a lot of flight cancellations. So what if it comes to a point where no more, you cannot fly in my airspace? And with Russia-Ukraine war going on, some of the airlines decided that we will not fly over Russian airspace. They had to go around it. So that's because of some bilateral or multilateral pacts they have signed, because of which you can fly your plane across the airspace of another country. But what if all that falls apart? It's very fragile. All these agreements that we have made, we take it for granted. Oh, we have technology, so we can fly. Because we can fly, we can fly. No. Because of the greed, because of the bodily concept, because of this ultra-nationalization of all countries and this multipolar future that is going to come, which was the truth before, which was the state of affairs before. Before this, say, British has conquered the whole world and then eventually fragmented, but then again powers were concentrated, like United States and Russia, kind of not really, but China now has come up and India is coming up. So when this happens again, like before, like even India was so fragmented before with all those countries, but at least culture there was some unity. The countries, they were divided, but when the Islamic invasion happened, even that culture became so fragmented, And when the Christians came in, first the Portuguese came, they were defeated. Otherwise, India would have been a Portuguese country actually. It was very bad. But that was staved off. But then the Christians came in. So now there's so much influence of Christianity, Islam, and of course there are indigenous religious systems in India. So with all of that, somehow there is some semblance of unity which will not last very long. So therefore, if we learn to see things in a wider perspective and in wider time frames, instead of just our limited narrow perspective, then we can better appreciate the advantages we have currently. So we should capitalize on this, act quickly, and spread it as much as possible within the window of that time. There is a saying, when an opportunity of a lifetime presents itself, grab it within the lifetime of that opportunity. I'll repeat, pay attention. When the opportunity of a lifetime presents itself, grab it within the lifetime of that opportunity. Because the opportunity's lifetime is very, very small. It may come in once in a lifetime, but if we don't grab onto it, then we miss the opportunity. So similarly, we are at a very crucial period and we should capitalize on this. We should go max. We should push it to the max when we have the chance. So Bharata of India, Bhumite, in the land, hoilo manusya janma jar. So we should not be complacent. We should never be complacent. So here, translation, one who has taken his birth as a human being in the land of India, Bharatvar, should make his life successful and work for the benefit of all other people. Now, what we are discussing here is the most important thing in the entire world. There are big G7 meetings, United Nations meetings, and this block, that block, APAC, whatever, the big meetings they're having, political meetings. You cannot do anything good for the world like that, because every country is thinking of, like for example, every country's independence or national day. Recently, I watched our Singapore Prime Minister talk about, after Singapore National Day, about unity of Singaporean people. But there's a fundamental flaw there. Why should we be only united within Singapore? That itself brings you at loggerheads with others. And of course, they say, no, we should not be loggerheads, we should cooperate. Yes, country is not just the land. People also identify country or nationalism with the ideas of that country or the culture of that country. But we should be, there are countries, yes, there should be countries, there should be governments, and many countries, yes. Even Parikshit Maharaj's time, it was not that he was only one king in the entire world. He was the emperor of the entire world. But there were many kings who paid their due respects and accepted the authority of Parikshit Maharaj. He was the overarching emperor, not the king of the entire world. He did not manage the entire world from his courtroom. But different representatives of different countries, they submitted to him voluntarily and cooperated with him under his ruling. And he would dictate terms and they would follow like that. Currently, United States is holding that kind of a power, where there are many countries, but one country is calling the shots more than others, with its media influence, with its military influence, which are interconnected themselves. In fact, Hollywood is heavily sponsored by the Defense Ministry in the United States. We see so many war movies from the United States, Hollywood. All those were sponsored by the CIA. They have a budget allocated for that. So anyway, all this is not just that, the media, everything is so controlled. But you see, that's the point. So one country, the king of one country or the president of one country is controlling the affairs of much of the world. So Parikshit Maharaj was like that, but he was dharmic, completely religious. And religion means, again, it's not a sectarian religion. Universal religion, that is Sanatana Dharma. Our Sanatana Dharma is the mother of all religions in the world, and we should not just discuss this with 10 people in the room. We should discuss it with 10 most important people in the world who will influence the policies of the countries in the world. So we should be greedy to get there. We should be greedy to get there within our lifetime. We should think like that. It's not that, we criticize the United Nations, we criticize G7 meeting, we criticize this and we sit down and do nothing about it. No, we have all the answers for the whole world's problems. And that's why I wanted to read this purport, which is very nice. It's very much related to today's topic. So let's read the purport. The magnanimity of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is expressed in this very important verse. Although he was born in Bengal and Bengalis therefore have a special duty toward him, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is addressing not only Bengalis, but all the inhabitants of India. It is in the land of India that actual human civilization can be developed. Human life is especially meant for God realization. As stated in the Vedanta Sutra, Athato Brahma Jignasa. Anyone who takes birth in the land of India, Bharatavarsha, has the special privilege of being able to take advantage of the instruction and guidance of the Vedic civilization. He automatically receives the basic principles of spiritual life. For 99.9% of the Indian people, even simple village farmers and others who are neither educated nor sophisticated, believe in the transmigration of the soul, believe in the past and future lives, believe in God, and naturally want to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead or His representative. Don't do anything. Don't get distracted. Don't say, yeah, but just don't get distracted. That's it. I don't want this. These ideas are the natural inheritance of a person. Did you hear what I said? Obviously not. Okay, I'm going to read again. And this purport I'm reading 941. Adi. Attention, na? Nonsense. Human life is especially meant for God realization. As stated in the Vedanta Sutra, Athato Brahma Jignasa. Anyone who takes birth in the land of India, Bharatvarsha, has a special privilege of being able to take advantage of the instruction and guidance of the Vedic civilization. I'm not going to repeat this again. I want your attention 100%. No nonsense again. He automatically receives the basic principles of spiritual life. For 99.9% of the Indian people, even simple village farmers and others who are neither educated nor sophisticated, believe in the transmigration of the soul, believe in the past and future lives, believe in God, and naturally want to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead or His representative. These ideas are the natural inheritance of a person born in India. India has many holy places of pilgrimage such as Gaya, Banaras, Mathura, Prayag, Vrindavan, Haridwar, Rameshwaram and Jagannath Puri, and still people go there by the hundreds and thousands. This is why it is called Smritimat Janma. Smritimat Janma means land in India, birth in India is full of remembrance of the Lord. By the holy places, by the scriptures, by the culture, everywhere. Although the present leaders of India are influencing the people not to believe in God, not to believe in a next life, and not to believe in a distinction between pious and impious life, and although they are teaching them how to drink wine, eat meat, and become supposedly civilized, people are nevertheless afraid of the four activities of sinful life, namely illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication, and gambling. And whenever there is a religious festival, they gather together by the thousands. This government which was pushing against this was Congress. Prabhupada did not mention it, but Congress. And now with the BJP coming in, at least there is some semblance of religiosity, but it's not yet coupled with knowledge as much. It's still in the sentimental platform only. There is a good, favorable mood, but education should be there. Otherwise, it's just going to be another farce, another cause for problems. We have actual experience of this. What is that? That people gather together in thousands and hundreds of thousands. Whenever the Krishna consciousness movement holds a Sankirtan festival in a big city like Calcutta, Bombay, Madras, Ahmedabad or Hyderabad, thousands of people come to hear Sometimes we speak in English, but even though most people do not understand English, they nevertheless come to hear us. Even when imitation incarnations of Godhead speak, people gather in the thousands. For everyone who is born in the land of India has a natural spiritual inclination and is taught the basic principles of spiritual life. They merely need to be a little more educated in the Vedic principles. See, they have the right culture, but without the knowledge, it will go to waste. But if the knowledge is introduced, injected, then they will be rightly situated. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says here, Janma sarthak karo paropakar. If an Indian is educated in the Vedic principles, he is able to perform the most beneficial welfare activity for the entire world. At present, for want of Krishna consciousness or God consciousness, the entire world is in darkness, having been covered by the four principles of sinful life: meat eating, illicit sex, gambling, and intoxication. Therefore, there is a need for vigorous propaganda to educate people to refrain from sinful activities. Where does this come from? Where will this come from? There is a need for vigorous propaganda. Only we are the agents for this. There's no one else. And therefore, when we read like this, there is a need means somebody will do. We all think somebody else will do. The thing is, it will get done because the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prophecy is there, Acharya's prophecies are there. It will get done. But why not we be part of it? Why not we be fortunate to be part of it? That vigorous propaganda to educate people should happen from here. So we are the base. We are the only hope for the world. And that's not a small statement. It's a statement that needs to be taken very seriously. If we are the hope means we should not rest. We should work tirelessly to spread this Krishna consciousness movement. Wherever we are, we have to inundate that place with books. We should inundate that place with devotees and bring about real change in the civilization. So, reading on, this will bring peace and prosperity. The rogues, thieves, and debauchees will naturally decrease in number. How much money governments are spending for crime prevention, narcotics, this and that? We should get some statistics from Singapore, from everywhere. How much money are they spending to prevent these things? Now we have a solution where we can save the money from so much. We can save the government so much money from spending on these things because the numbers will reduce. So in this way, we should present to the political class of people as well how much unnecessary spending they're doing because of a lack of God consciousness. But they see religion as a problem because they think everyone has their own beliefs and everyone will say their religion is supreme and everyone will talk like this only, that if they only can do. But no, this is not. That's just another sectarian claim that we are making. What we are making is actually the universal presentation of religious culture, which is very scientific at the same time. So it's the most practical solution. There is no other solution actually. And it's not just the most practical solution, it is the solution. It's not the solution. Other things will not be solutions. They may be temporary band-aid kind of fixes, stopgap solutions, but they are not actually real solutions of lasting solutions of the problem. So the rogues, thieves, and debauchees will naturally decrease in number, and all of human society will be God conscious. The practical effect of our spreading the Krishna consciousness movement all over the world is that now the most degraded debauchees are becoming the most elevated saints. Prabhupada went to America, and in a matter of months, he changed terrible, sinful people into saintly devotees. And Prabhupada is saying, this is only one Indian's humble service to the world. If all Indians had taken to this path, as advised by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, India would have given a unique gift to the world, and thus India would have been glorified. Of course, it is not just one Indian, it is the Indian who was the actual ambassador of the culture of India. He is a pure devotee. He's not just an Indian. But if we take up Prabhupada's mission, even though we are not as not nowhere remotely close to the level of Prabhupada, and we can never be, but we will be effective, as effective as Prabhupada, or dare I say, more effective. Why? By the mercy of Prabhupada. And I'm not saying this out of some speculation or oh, how can you say we can be more effective than Prabhupada? No, it can be, if only by the mercy of Prabhupada. Madhya Lila 16.65 verse is exactly precisely that. Amar dushkar karma tuma hoite hoy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, we will go there, we will finish this. If all Indians had taken to this path, or rather we will go there and come back because I want to break the thought. So here, this is what Adi. Okay, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying to Nityananda Prabhu, Amar dushkar karma tuma hoite hoy. Taha siddhi kare heno anya na dekhiye, Amar dushkar karma tuma hoite hoy. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, you can perform a task that even I cannot do. He said to Nityananda, but for you, that means except you, I cannot find anyone in Gaudadesh who can fulfill my mission there. Purport. Lord Chaitanya's mission is to deliver the fallen souls of this age. In this age of Kali, practically 10% of the population is fallen. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu certainly delivered many fallen souls, but his disciples mainly came from the upper classes. For example, he delivered Sri Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and many others who were socially elevated but fallen from the spiritual point of view. Sri Rupa and Sanatana Goswamis were situated in government service, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was the topmost scholar of India. Similarly, Prakashananda Saraswati was a leader of many thousands of Mayavadi sannyasis. It was Srila Nityananda Prabhu, however, who delivered persons like Jagai and Madhai. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya says, Amar dushkar karma tama hoite hoy. Jagai and Madhai were delivered solely by Nityananda Prabhu's mercy. When they injured Nityananda Prabhu, Lord Chaitanya became angry and decided to kill them with his Sudarshan Chakra. But Nityananda Prabhu saved them from the Lord's wrath and delivered them. In the incarnation of Gauranitai, the Lord is not supposed to kill demons, but is supposed to deliver them by preaching Krishna consciousness. In the case of Jagai and Madhai, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so angry that he would have immediately killed them, but Nityananda Prabhu was so kind that he not only saved them from death, but elevated them to the transcendental position. Thus, what was not possible for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was carried out by Nityananda Prabhu. Similarly, if one is true to Gauranitai's service in the disciplic succession, he can even excel Nityananda Prabhu's service. When? If one is true to Gauranitai's service. This is Prabhupada's word, not mine. So, he can even excel Nityananda Prabhu's service. This is the process of disciplic succession. Nityananda Prabhu delivered Jagai and Madhai, but a servant of Nityananda Prabhu, by his grace, can deliver many thousands of Jagais and Madhais. That is a special benediction of the disciplic succession. One who is situated in the disciplic succession can be understood by the result of his activities. See? So, if we are properly in the disciplic succession, if we say we are Prabhupada Anugas, if we are really followers of Prabhupada, we should surpass the reach that Srila Prabhupada has done. And that can only be done by his mercy. And to an extent it was done during his manifest presence here. His disciples distributed many thousands and millions of times more books than he himself did by his mercy. I mean, now also the book distribution is going on. But the bringing of people to Prabhupada, unfortunately, that is not going on. And many devotees are, and because of that, there are so many downstream problems that are coming from that. Because, for example, we say, oh, only one thing, no problem, otherwise we are all same. We are not same. Because when you are solving a mathematical problem, suppose it is a 10-step problem, the first step I make some mistake, the next all steps may be same. But because I took the result from the first step to the second step and worked with that, and the result of that step to the next, the answer will be miles apart. So when I have a guru system in ISKCON, like in ISKCON, where the guru is substandard. So now what will happen if the guru goes and meets some babas here, some this guy there and that guy here, and then he himself has a very low standard. So what will his disciples do? They will also have that low standard. People become sahajiyas. So there will be unlimited standards within this movement. And people will think that, oh, we should just be tolerant, we should not criticize, we should not say that we are the best, or we should follow, or only we are following Prabhupada or something like that. We should tolerate everybody, we should be humble, we should respect everyone. How can we respect everything and everyone? Where all different standards, there is no standard at all. And cheap, some complete spurious, what is it? Not spurious, what is it? What is the word? Contaminated versions of Krishna consciousness. How can we, amanina manadena. Yesterday, somebody shared some video. So they are putting this Trinada Pisunichana song and saying that they are making songs on somebody and using Trinada Pisunichana, saying that if we criticize where is Trinada Pisunichana, where is Tarora Sahishnuna, where is Amanina Manadena, where is Kirtaniya Sadahari, we should respect everyone, we should be humble, we cannot criticize, we cannot point out the faults, we cannot say that we are following the standard, we should respect everybody's standard. Like this they are using the Trinada Pisunichana. It's a complete disservice to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So all these downstream problems will come when our first problem, that Prabhupada is not in the center. So the saving grace is at least Prabhupada's books are going out. They should not be edited out indiscriminately at all. In fact, there's been no editing. So anyway, there are a lot of things, but the movement and also how big ISKCON is right now. They were preaching to the scientists, they were preaching to the politicians. The reach that ISKCON has now, they can even do much more. But now they have changed their way. They have become very soft. They pander to the powers that be. It is one thing to be cordial. Yes, you should be cordial. You should be respectful to everybody, but state the truth properly without any compromise. We should learn that art of speaking truth uncompromisingly and yet doing it in a civil way, without inciting violence, without spewing hatred. In the Jive Doya, there's a mission is, our mission is Jive Doya. We should have compassion for the fallen, suffering souls. And out of compassion, we should speak the uncompromising truth, because that is a medicine. When the doctor gives the child the medicine, the child is all, crying and, throwing a big tantrum. The doctor does not become angry with the child. If the doctor becomes angry with the child and slaps the child and beats and kicks the child, that's not going to work. He has to somehow calm the child down, knowing well the child does not know what he's doing, but he should just tolerate. Even if the child kicks him or whatever, he should just tolerate and administer the medicine. So similarly, we should, that is how we should apply Trinada Pisunichana, Tarora Sahishnuna. Titikshavaha Karunika. We have to be tolerant and merciful at the same time. But if I'm just tolerant and I'm not merciful, that is a farce. The whole purpose of tolerance is to be merciful. We will tolerate their onslaughts, but we will not pander to their ideologies. You know what I mean? We should not pander to their ideologies. Pandering means, yes, like what happened in the ISKCON, shameful event, when that Amoghilila Prabhu, he commented on Vivekananda ISKCON shut him down. That's not what we should do. When there is a problem, we should pose the problem. And now somebody came up with a video saying that they took a video of the, what is his name? Swarupananda, I think, one of the sannyasis on Ramakrishna Mat, nicely eating chicken in his bowl. He was served chicken and nicely eating. And this is a truth that everybody knows. I mean, not maybe everybody. I heard that sannyasis, they eat meat, like anything. They eat meat. And Vivekananda himself spoke about we should eat meat. I made a video about Vivekananda's whole thing, 33 minutes. It was a part of a lecture. And that is a separate video now on our YouTube channel about Vivekananda's teachings and how he is using even Vedas to prove his thing. And he was advocating for eating meat. And he himself ate meat. And the sannyasis in his movement eat meat. And the video was now there. And now somebody else is some random guy is exposing. And people are shocked and everything. But when he said it, ISKCON issued a apology, saying that, we apologize for our man's comment on the dietary preferences of the what is that, exalted soul, something like prominent souls like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and Vivekananda. What shameful event that was. So this pandering is not what we should be. We should be cordial, we should be civil, we should be respectful, but uncompromising in our presentation of the truth. We can always, we should learn from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's example. He went to speak with absolute opposites. He went to speak with Mayavadis. He should hate them, right? Oh, you are Mayavadi, rascal. You are this and that. He could have said that. No, he silently, with a lot of humility, he approached Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Prakashananda Saraswati. What did he do? Converted them. Of course, we are not supposed to imitate Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and be very close with the sannyasis or whatever. But we should learn that attitude of how to actually do it. He had discussions with Islamic scholars, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He had discussions with Buddhists. He had discussions with Tattvavadis, Sri Sampradaya, even Vaishnavas, Smarthas. He had conversations with who is that? Like Chandkazi was a Muslim. He had a conversation with him. Christians he did not have. At that time there was no Christian yet. Otherwise he would have had also. But you see the point. How he dealt with everyone and preached the message in a civil dialogue. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said this, that if we can have civil dialogues, civil debates. Civil means act civilly, not uncivilized. Civilized discussions, where there is no hatred, where there is no, pointing fingers and, hating. Not that kind of a conversation. But civil conversations, if we can have, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, if there is a contest like that, just like there are so many sports competitions, and governments are making a whole lot of arrangements for that. Like, we have Chaturmasya, July to October. In Singapore also there is a Chaturmasya in the same time period. You know what they're doing at that time? Preparing for the F1 race. The whole F1, the Formula 1 car racing, they develop the whole road and the grandstands and big arrangements, huge, for 3 days race. 3 days, 3 or 4 max. And for that, 4 months are gone, setting up and after that winding it down. The Chaturmas, Singapore. So they are making arrangements for all kinds of competitions. They have stadiums for sports competitions. They have all kinds of things. So his proposal, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's proposal was that if there can be similar competitions, very civil, very respectful competitions, where people discuss these religious ideas, philosophies, with logic, tarka. and let audience watch that. Let the audience watch it. Then let the audience then decide who won, and there can be, of course, judge also there. But audience also can make their own. They can learn about both religions, and eventually rounds, like different rounds in a soccer match or a soccer tournament or a cricket tournament. Like there are 16 teams and 8 teams, 4 teams, 2 teams, and then final. So something like that format, if whatever, if it can be done, and if ideas are discussed civilly, then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy will reign supreme, and it will be can easily be proven as the mother of all religions, the Sankirtan movement, and which includes every other religion also. All the tenets of every religion is there in the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's religion, and with even greater detail of God and how to reach God and everything. So it's actually uniting all religions under the umbrella of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's not about we being better than them or what. It's actually showing them the apotheosis of all religions. What is apotheosis? Means the perfection of all religious, the pinnacle of perfection of all religious practice is this Sankirtan movement. Vedeshu yajneshu tapassu chaiva jnaneshu daneshu tat punya phalam pradishtam. 828. And even the other one, which is by Devahuti. Ahobatasvapachoto gariyan yajjihvagre vartate nama tubhyam te pustapaste juhuvuhu sasnurarya brahmano churnama grananti yete. How glorious are they whose tongues are chanting your holy name. Even if born in the families of dog eaters, such persons are worshipable. Persons who chant the holy name of your Lordship must have executed all kinds of austerities, pious sacrifices, and achieved all the good manners of the Aryans. To be chanting your holy name of your Lordship, they must have bathed at holy place of pilgrimage, studied the Vedas, and fulfilled everything required. So in other words, all religious practices culminate in the Sankirtan movement. And if we can present this science, and we should also mention that this Sankirtan is mentioned in every religion. Like in the Christianity, they have to chant the name of God. They have rosary beads, at least Catholic. And then there is Muslim also, they have to do their chanting. I see many Muslims in Singapore also, they have this clicker, This clicker actually is from Muslims, tasbih. It's called tasbih. They have this tasbih. So they have their chant, they have their mala, or they have this digital counter, they chant. I saw once, I was driving, traffic light, I stopped. I looked at the car beside me. There was a Malay woman driving her car, and she had that clicker, and she was driving, and she was clicking on that and chanting. So that's nice that she's doing that. So we should highlight these commonalities and the underlying common principle of all religions, which is the chanting of the holy name. And likewise, if we can unite everything under Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet, that will be the perfection. So, going back, you see, we can excel, we can surpass even the reach of Prabhupada by his mercy. That is only if we are true servants of Prabhupada. That means if we are not doing as much, that means we are lacking somewhere. If the importance of the Hare Krishna movement has decreased from Prabhupada's presence to now, that means we have failed. We are not being his proper followers. Because if we are his proper followers, it should increase more than what he left. Like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he preached. He did not even set up an organization. He tried Vishwa Vaishnava Raja Sabha, but then he did not preach in an organized way. He wrote books, he wrote songs, he went and lectured, but he did not really initiate people and construct temples or something like that. He constructed one temple at the Gaura Vishnu Priya temple at the Yoga Peeth. That's it. That is to just commemorate the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Otherwise, he did not really go and start temples. So as you can see, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur did that. He expanded upon what Bhaktivinoda Thakur has done, and he constructed temples. He traveled everywhere, defeated all opponents. He used to have debates with all kinds of philosophers. The Theosophical Society, wherever he went to Theosophical Society, smashed everybody there, established a temple, preaching started. Book distribution, publication of magazines. He set up the whole thing in a very organized way. Then Prabhupada, being his true disciple, expanded even more than Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So if we are true disciples of Prabhupada, we should expand more than what Prabhupada did. And that's not a statement of pride, that's a statement of humility in disciplic succession. The servant becomes more than the master by the mercy of the disciplic succession. This is the beauty of disciplic succession. That's why Radha and Krishna, they are happy. Like Krishna is happy all the time. Radharani is 100 times more happy than him. The gopis serving Radharani are 100 times more happy than Radharani. The gopis serving the gopis who are serving Radharani are 100 times more happy than the previous rung of gopis. In this way, as one becomes dasa, 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 anudasa, his happiness increases. This is the truth about spiritual servitude. That's why bhakti is more relishable than even Krishna. Devotees, so many prayers we have of so many devotees where they don't say, please take me back to Godhead, I want to be with you. They say, even if you choose to keep us here, never mind. I don't mind Janmani Ishvare. But Bhavatat Bhakti Rahaitu Kitvai. That one I don't want to let go. I can stay away from Krishna, but I cannot stay away from Bhakti. Because Bhakti is more relishable than Krishna. The truth is, if we have Bhakti, then Krishna is already there, of course. But one can stay away from Krishna, but not from Bhakti. And of course, being with Bhakti means to be with Krishna. So Bhakti, as it goes down, just like when the fruit, when it falls from the tree, as it comes down, it accelerates. Its speed increases. So similarly, when the happiness comes down from Krishna, it increases. This is called Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. The happiness increases. The more we become a servant. The more the parampara comes down and down, the more we become a servant of the parampara, the more we can do like a snowball, like an avalanche. Snowball starts off as a small thing, and as it comes down, it gathers mass, and it becomes a huge thing. So snowballing, they call it, they use that metaphor. Oh, it snowballed. It started as something small, but it snowballed into this. They say it snowballed into this massive thing. That's how actually avalanches happen. It starts and then the snowball it gathers snow as it comes down and becomes big as it comes down. So similarly, the happiness, the reach, the result of the sampradaya, as it comes down, it accelerates, it gains mass and speed, and it should become. That is if it is coming properly down. If it does not, then it will, like what happened after Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's departure. Before Prabhupada had actually accelerated the whole thing and brought it to a next level, it was dwindling. It was dwindling. And that is explained in the 428-48 purport. By Prabhupada, which we mentioned in our IA-77 book. You see, just see this world surrounded by water and infested with rogues and so-called kings. This world is very much afraid, and it is your duty to protect her. And here, whenever an acharya comes, following the superior orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his representative, he establishes the principles of religion as enunciated in the Bhagavad Gita. Okay? Now, religious principles begin from surrendering to Krishna. So, it is the acharya's duty to spread a bona fide religious system and induce everyone to bow down before the Supreme Lord. Unfortunately, when the acharya disappears, rogues and non-devotees take advantage and immediately begin to introduce unauthorized principles in the name of so-called swamis, yogis, philanthropists, welfare workers, and so on. This is what happens when an acharya leaves. Actually, human life is meant for executing the orders of the Supreme Lord. Now, what is that? To become a devotee, right? The main business of human society is to think of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to become his devotees, worship him, and bow down before him. The Acharya, the authorized representative of the Supreme Lord, establishes these principles, but when he disappears, things once again become disordered. The perfect disciples of the Acharya try to relieve the situation by sincerely following the instructions of the spiritual master. See, that is the most important point. The perfect disciples of the Acharya try to relieve the situation. So, what does it mean by relieving the situation? Oh, it is dwindling, so at least let us manage, let us be status quo, maintain status quo. No, relieving means to again bring back that acceleration and take it to the next level. If acceleration remains the same, the speed increases, right? Right. Physics class we're having. If acceleration is 9.8 meters per second square, according to the what we have learned, Earth's gravitational pull, whatever, but the acceleration is 9.8 meters per second square, right? Don't know? What did you learn? Secondary school. You know? 9.8 meters per second. That's called 1g. That means 9.8 meters per second is the speed by which the speed increases as something falls into on this earth without any air in vacuum. Its speed increases by that much every second. 9.8 meters per second, it increases per second. That's why it's 9.8 meters per second square. So if the acceleration is the same, that means the speed increases as it comes down, right? Basic physics. So relieving the situation means keep the acceleration same, not the speed same. Speed same means it is already decelerated. There's a deceleration. So we should not maintain the status quo of the organization. That's not our movement. Anandambuddhi Vardhanam, it has to expand. Only then we are following properly. If we are not expanding, and expanding not like a watered down milk, diluted milk, that is also expansion. We don't want that kind of expansion. Unfortunately, the expansion that happened in ISKCON is the dilution. It should remain concentrated and it should expand and it should gain momentum. That is the symptom by which we can diagnose whether the sampradaya is alive or not. So going back. Yes, so reading this purport, 941, Bharata Bhumite purport. So if all Indians had taken, see, this is only one Indian's humble service to the world. If all Indians had taken to this path as advised by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, India would have given a unique gift to the world and thus India would have been glorified. Now, however, India is known as a poverty-stricken country, and whenever anyone from America or another opulent country goes to India, he sees many people lying on the footpaths for whom there are not even provisions for 2 meals a day. There are also institutions collecting money from all parts of the world in the name of welfare activities for poverty-stricken people, but they are spending it for their own sense gratification. Now, on the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Krishna consciousness movement has been started, and people are benefiting from this movement. Therefore, it is now the duty of the leading men of India to consider the importance of this movement and train many Indians to go outside of India to preach this cult. So those who are outside of India, Indians who are outside of India, it's a blessing in a way because we can actually be of service to the, although we glorify Bharatvarsha, we should, that does not mean we go back to Bharatvarsha and stay there. Yeah, that is a pious land, I should go back. While we are away, don't know how long we'll be away, but while we are away, we should spread it here. And that means to the people here. That's why we should not just reach out to the Indians. We should reach out to the other people who are actually here, who are natives here. We should spread to them as well. We should. I was saying the other day, you just keep that question. I was saying the other day, not the other day means quite some weeks ago, that we should break the Great Wall of China. Not in the literal sense, but the Great Wall of China means, we have this wall again with the Chinese. We are not really penetrating into the Chinese community. And we should break that wall, the Great Wall of China. Not China, but even the Chinese here. We should have more. We should reach out to them. Everybody, we should reach out. We should think about how to help them with this knowledge, with this culture. People will accept it. There will be, see how Prabhupada is saying, this is a prophecy, okay? If we do this, if the leading men of India, if we consider the importance of this movement and train many Indians to go outside of India to preach this cult, people will accept it. There will be cooperation among the Indian people and among the other people of the world. See that? There will be cooperation among Indians and other people of the world. So all these geopolitical tensions that are growing in the world, solution we have. Now we may say, yeah, we have, but how can we reach them? What can we do? How can we? No, this is how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will present us the opportunities, how to reach to them. But we have to be, Prabhupada said, the Pandavas had nothing to their name, and in 18 days, the whole world was theirs. 18 days. They were absolute, they had zero, and 18 days later, they were the hero. Zero to hero in 18 days. Now, Prabhupada said then that Krishna can give us the whole world in 18 days as well. But are we ready? Because it's not that, we are unable to, we are not getting that because we are not ready. What if we get the whole world? We'll mess it up. Because we ourselves are not there yet. You don't have the strength to manage anything. At one temple, we are unable to manage. 0302, unable to manage. How can we manage the whole world? So therefore, we have to think like this, that we have to become so good at organizing, so good that the big companies, big people, who are so-called organizing specialists, they should learn from us how to become salesmen. In fact, Prabhupada, when the devotees were selling books in hundreds and hundreds of thousands, companies, they used to send their sales representatives to just watch the devotees sell books. Look at how they're striking conversation and selling books. They're teaching them by asking them to look at the devotees. Just watch them how they're selling. It requires a great deal of preaching to sell one philosophical book. But they're selling within 1 minute. How are they selling? Watch it. So when devotees came to know of this, they told Prabhupada, they actually, we have seen that many people are sending their sales reps to learn from us how to sell. Prabhupada said, you tell them that our sales will stop all their sales, nonsense sales. Because people are buying those products because they don't know what is the aim of life. We are teaching them the aim of life so that all those products will no more sell. Only our products will sell. So we should think in that way. And actually, this is why I want to do a book distribution seminar, not to teach how to sell book, what to talk to each person. That, like, we have been trained in one way, but I also want to learn many other ways of how to reach out to people. I am a student myself. But the seminar, the real reason for the seminar that I want to do is to get to the right mood. If we all have the right mood about it, and if we have the right understanding about it, then we can all use our own talents, our own this thing, and learn from whatever previous devotees. And then Krishna will give us intelligence from within. As long as we have the burning desire to execute the order of the spiritual master, Guru Mukha Padmavakya, Chittita Korya Aikya, Arna Koriho Mane Asha, if we have that, there's nothing that will stop us. Ekeha Kuru Nandana, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur commented on that verse, and that is the verse which got Prabhupada across the shore from India to America. He was reading the commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur on Bhagavad Gita, 241, Ekeha Kuru Nandana. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said we should have single-pointed attention on the order of the spiritual master. Then he decided, I will go to America. He asked me to preach in the Western country. Just that one sentence, preach in the West. That one sentence, Prabhupada took it to the maximum level. That's how we should think. Oh, Prabhupada gave order, Jare Dekha Tare Kaha Krishna Upadesh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It looks like a simple order, right? Whoever you made mistakes, talk about Krishna. It's not just a leisurely thing, oh, I'll just talk about Krishna to whoever I met. Yeah, it is like that. But we should think, we should dream very, very grand for Krishna. Our plans should be very grand, and we should never be satisfied with our results. What does that mean? That means, when Prabhupada was brought some report, book distribution report, and Prabhupada was very happy. And he said, very good, well done. Now double it. Now double it. And when they double it and bring him the report, now double it again. So he would always not be satisfied with it. Somebody said to him, oh, we have made 108 members in the last 1 week or something like that. They thought Prabhupada will be happy, 108 number, auspicious number. Prabhupada, why only 108? There are so many millions of people in India, all of them must become members. So, in that manner, never be satisfied with it. Anandam buddhi vartanam. Not satisfied means to be hungry for more. I think Thumbs Up, they had this tagline, Ye dil mange more. We should have that for Krishna consciousness. Ye dil mange more. So, in Hindi, that means for those who don't know, that this heart wants more. So that's how, but they use it to promote some stupid drink. We should do the exact same thing to promote Bhagavatam, to promote Krishna consciousness. Why the tagline should be bad? Tagline is not bad. Like Nike, just do it. Same thing, we should just do it. Adidas, impossible is nothing. Not nothing is impossible. Impossible becomes nothing. Nothing is impossible means, yeah, I can achieve it. No. That impossible thing will become absolutely nothing. Insignificant. That's exactly how we should think. All these taglines which are promoting to promote stupid nonsense, we should promote Bhagavatam. We should have those taglines for ourselves. Why? Because they are using those taglines to earn money. But there is this huge, very nice verse. 7:755 purport. Narayanamaya dhiraha. Yes. Narayanamaya dhiraha pashyanti paramarthinaha jagadhanamayam lubdhaha kamukaha kaminimayam. A devotee sees everyone and everything in relationship with Narayana. Narayanamaya. Everything is an expansion of Narayana's energy. Just as those who are greedy see everything as a source of money making, right? Greedy people see what? What do greedy people see? Hey, look at this. The verse is very important. I'm telling an important verse here. Narayana mayam dhiraha. Don't waste more time. Dhanamayam, Kamini mayam, Narayana mayam. So the point here, I hate when there is no attention. This is a very important message. Okay, focus. Everything, okay. Narayanmayam dhiraha pashyanti paramarthinaha jagadhanamayam lubdhaha kamukaha kaminimayam. Narayanmayam means what? What is Narayanmayam? That means everything Narayana. To have the consciousness of everything is Narayana. But lubdhaha means greedy. They, for them, Jagat Dhanamayam, everything is money for them. Everything is a source of money making. Oh, I'll make money out of this. Or this, I'll make money out of this. How to make a business and make money out of it. So they use these captions to make money. And Kamukaha, the lusty people, Kaminimayam, everything is a source of remembrance for sex for them. Everything. So, like everything reminds them of sex. The lusty people. Everything reminds them of money, these rich, greedy people. Everything should remind us of Narayana for devotees. So if we see just do it, impossible is nothing. What is that? The other one I was saying? Ye dil mange more. All these things should be used for Krishna. Narayanamaya. So people will accept it. There will be cooperation among the Indian people and among the other people of the world, and the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will be then be fulfilled. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will then be glorified all over the world, and people will naturally be happy, peaceful, and prosperous, not only in this life but also in the next. For as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, anyone who understands Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, very easily gets salvation or freedom from the repetition of birth and death and go back home back to Godhead. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore requests every Indian to become a preacher of his cult to save the world from disastrous confusion, not to become a servant of some multinational tech company and become a CEO of Google and Facebook and Amazon and this and that. This is not only the duty of Indians but the duty of everyone. That's why he was very happy with the Americans and Europeans who was helping him. Everyone should help this great movement. Okay, so I think I will stop it there. Just maybe the last question. The last point is 5:19:29. Okay. So here in the purport, there is a nice verse from Kurma Puran. An adhikarino deva. Adhikar means right. Having the right to do something. Authority. Anadhikaro deva. Anadhikarino deva. I mean, devas don't have adhikar. Where? Bharatodbhavam. Swargastha. The Swargastha means the devas who are in the Swarga. Bharatodbhavam anadhikarino. They don't have the facility. They are not eligible. Yeah, that is the thing. Eligibility. Adhikar. Anadhikarina. Bharatodbhavam. Udbhavam means to take birth. To take birth in Bharat, they don't have the eligibility. Heavenly demigods. Vanchanti atma vimokshartha mudreka arthe adhikarina. Although demigods are situated in exalted positions in the heavenly planets, they nevertheless desire to descend to the land of Bharatavarsha on the planet Earth. This indicates that even the demigods are unfit to reside in the Bharatavarsha. Therefore, if persons already born in Bharatavarsha live like cats and dogs and not taking advantage of their birth in this land, they are certainly unfortunate. So we should not be proud of India because India won the World Cup. Recently, India won the Women's World Cup cricket. Proud of India. Arey, don't be proud of this stupid nonsense. These are distractions from the aim of life. This is not pride of India. This is hopeless. We should be so proud of this culture. We should spread this culture. So, okay, I'll stop it here. Any questions or comments? You had a question, something. We need to?
Sometimes we waste time for that no time for execution. So we should just directly go and go for distribution of the that way it will be so much. We should really have a plan.
No, it should be both. Execution is the ultimate. Actually, the real thing is in execution. So even if there is not much plan, going out to distribute books is just something which everybody can do. So we should just go out, and but then eventually it will come that organization will be vital, and to expand we have to have organization. And Prabhupada was very expert at this, at scaling. Scaling means to increase the scale of the operations. How every department must be super organized, so that, because for example, if say there is an event that we have to go out for book distribution, but we did not know, oh yeah, today is this day. That means there was no organization, there was no calendar, there was no Sankirtan calendar. We should have a Sankirtan calendar. So, okay, what day? And then, okay, oh yeah, but we are all supposed to go already. Oh, van is not here. Oh, Why? Oh, we did not tell him that the van should not be used because we have a Sankirtan program. So there is no coordination. Even simple things like this will disrupt the smooth execution of Sankirtan plans. In the small scale, not much organization is required. But as we grow, we should have. And as you say, too much planning is not good. Planning should be there, but execution should be there. Immediate execution. And if anything is not perfect, we will iterate and then improve, and like that we can take it forward. But we should take it forward.
We are planning in terms of how we have to be for other external factors like man is there.
No. No, not much in that. Plan means in what different ways we can actually distribute, to give the ideas of what all different ways. Like if somebody cannot go out for book distribution, they can actually sit down in their home, use their phone. They have so many contact lists, A to Z, go A to Z. Or we have so many list of people in our lists. Or we can call companies like businessmen, we can ask them, please support our Sanatana Dharma Prachar. You take the whole set of Prabhupada's books, so he will get something and he will donate, he will contribute for the movement. So like this we can make so many set sales like that, and house to house. So that for that we may need to get permits. So that department should be there every day, going house to house, or get table spaces. Keep an idea of all the fairs. Not only one Deepavali fair per year. Actually, the whole year there are fairs. Not all as vibrant as that one, but we should enter into those and test out. Okay, we should actually, now there is one going in Hougang, near the Hougang Mall. That organizer is asking me to come and see. Until now I haven't gone. Need to go and see, and then see how it is there, how the thing is there. If it's 1 month fair, maybe the last week will be actually the more. So we just book for 1 week. So these kind of things, where all we can actually go, what all our ideas we can actually enter into, like how to reach the Chinese, like contact the Buddhist organizations or something. Have a dharma talk. If you have any Chinese friends, bring them all together, have a dharma talk, because for them dharma talk is what they identify with. In Buddhist there are so many dharma talks. We can have something like that program. And then another thing is yoga studios. So I'm at 2 yoga studios. They are eager to actually have our classes at least once a week. So those are areas which we can enter into and have a books table there, and then do some kirtan and then sell books. Any events that we are having, regular events or special events, like some concert or something, some celebrity comes, okay, then we should be stationed there. So all these things. And online, how to sell online with social media. Like nowadays people are selling on Instagram itself. They buy the button on the screen, on the video, and then they're buying products there. So how we can sell books there? Why we should not sell books there? And have our WhatsApp number. We have a temple WhatsApp number, so all communications are unified. So all these things, and how our inventory should be planned, how our ordering of books should be enough, and how early we should order. All this, because what we had a big problem was there were so many orders, but we did not have enough Bhagavatam sets to distribute. So many things, those things.
Something of these, like the Ashtasakti happens today. Now they are everyday going distribution books and so many things they are distributing every day. So are they also doing planning for every day something?
No, they just go out. That is one department of book distribution, going out on the streets. Like this, there absolutely. No need. Yeah, can just go out. There no need for any planning. Can just go out straight. This actually is not so much of planning also. It's just giving the ideas of what all we have, what all opportunities. Sometimes we don't even see the opportunities. So there are opportunities for everyone. Because from here we can go. Not everybody can go out on the streets also. So how everyone can participate in this, not only the temple devotees. It should be all congregation members must think about this. And they should distribute among themselves, among their circles, among their contacts. So I wanted to inspire them also to take up this thing in a very serious way, just as the temple devotees. We should also increase our own people going out and distributing books. So Yeah.
This Prabhupada he has started the ISKCON, the mission. It's the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, and it's the like what we say, right? This movement is the mercy movement, right? So it's only going because of the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna, and then Prabhupada is carried forward. So since it's a mercy movement, so of course right now also when we are using some service, we always say it's because of Prabhupada's mercy you are able to do this service. So why after Prabhupada's disappearance, this ISKCON got like disrupted? Because it's a mercy movement, so mercy is still going on. So why Prabhupada devotees did this movement?
No, mercy, for the mercy to flow. So the question is, for those who are online, the question is, this is a mercy movement. So why did the mercy stop after Prabhupada's disappearance? Why did people dwindle? I mean, deviate.
I came here because of his mercy only. I'm still in the association of devotees because of Prabhupada's mercy. So we can see that mercy is still there, but why it happened to those devotees? Why they did everything against Prabhupada immediately after the disappearance. Even when he was there towards the end of his his presence here at the Mandir, still they were coming back to why.
That's the independence, misuse of independence. So the mercy movement means mercy will come from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but we also should take it. If we don't take it, then we will not feel it. So if I don't want to take it, if I don't want to take the mercy, if I act against, then it will stop.
Prabhupada is affected by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's having all the protection from Krishna.
Yeah.
So then, why Prabhupada took this mission because of their knowledge. So why
No. So Prabhupada has all the protection of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but we don't have. If we deviate, we will be the ones suffering. Prabhupada is not suffering here, right? He's not suffering like that. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur started Gaudiya Math. That also dwindled because his disciples. That does not mean his mission was gone. His mission will still carry on, and it will be carried on by his truthful disciples. But that's the thing. If we don't follow the orders, then we will be the one who will be suffering the effect of the mercy not coming. The dam will be constructed to block the flow of mercy. Yeah,
that's what happened.
Yeah. If we don't follow, mercy will stop, of course. So there are some questions online. Wow. We are already so late. Somebody is asking, is Islam good, sir? Well, Islam means peace. So if you go by the book definition of it, it should be good. So we want to see that. If that is followed, the only way to have peace is Krishna consciousness. Whether they say Allah or Krishna, God is God. So nasti buddhir ayuktasya nacha ayuktasya bhavana nacha bhavayatah shantir ashantasya kutah sukham. 266 Bhagavad Gita. So peace, Islam means peace. One who is not connected with the Supreme in Krishna consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace? So we want it to be properly followed. If any religion is properly followed, it will resemble the Sankirtan movement. Because ultimately, everything is coming back to the point of chanting the holy name of Krishna. And he has many names, yes, but chanting of the name of God is the actual religion for this age. And if one is really doing that, there will be symptoms of a person who is actually peaceful. He will let others also live in peace. But if he's terrorizing everyone, then that is not peace. And there are people in all kinds of communities doing this, not only from one community. Especially some communities are a little more known for it than others, but in all cases, everyone will have these things if they don't understand religion properly. So ultimately, everything is good if everything is followed. Okay. Kunal Jaiswal is asking, my mother passed away last month. Can chanting Krishna bring peace? Of course, please chant. Teach me one mantra for good health. Chant Hare Krishna. Okay, more pertinent questions. Okay, Brajageshwar Prabhu is asking. There are several platforms and forums for interfaith dialogue. Should we actively be taking part in these? Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard some quotes from Srila Prabhupada that we should not. Okay, so the reason why Prabhupada did not want to really participate so much with these people is because they will glorify everything. Every oh, you are also okay, I'm also okay, this kind of yatama tatapat. But if you see, Prabhupada also spoke with the Christian Emmanuel, what is that, Bishop Emmanuel, the French bishop he spoke to. He spoke to Islamic scholar in Iran, Tehran. He spoke to him. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had this famous dialogue with the Maulvi, who's an Islamic scholar. And he also always had conversations with the Theosophical Society of India. The thing is, we should be asserting the scientific nature of our Krishna consciousness movement and prove it to them that ours is the supreme. Not in an argumentative way, but agreeing to the core tenets of their religion and showing them how our Sanatan Dharma, our Sankirtan movement has all those tenets that they hold dear, and it has a very practical way of how to have this in our present day and current times, and all other aspects like meat eating or anything. We should discuss this with them and present how our version is actually providing all answers. So it is the same thing, but when we have more detail with the answer, then it will help with the conviction. That's all it is. Chanting a name is there in every religion. So that is the principle. But why is it not taken up with earnestness, or what are the other offenses that are being committed? And that's why we criticize deviations in our own Vaishnava, Gaudiya Vaishnava Dharma even. Bhaktivinoda Thakur named 13 Apasampradayas. Sahajiya, Gauranga Nagari, Sakhi Bheki, Atya, what is that? Atibadi. Like this 13 names are there. Different kinds of deviations within Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. So like this, in all religions, there are deviations from the original gospel. So if we bring people back to the original teachings of the religion, it will coincide with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, and we just have more detail that will help with our understanding and adoption of that. So in this way we should present. We should in fact meet with all kinds of people as much as possible and present this to them. We should have a presentation of Krishna consciousness for Buddhists, Krishna consciousness for Christians, Krishna consciousness for Muslims, Jews, whatever. We should reach out and then show how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement has all the answers that they are looking for and more. And therefore is the topmost in that way. Yeah.
In between the class, I was saying like, other religions like they also practice like Muslims are practicing those basic, even Christians are practicing. It's like at least you should appreciate, but then how? Okay, we are appreciating, okay, you are doing something. Then how can we teach them how to consider the chant Hare Krishna?
So, of course, this is a topic, but I don't want to expand too much. It's already very late. So the question is, yeah, we can appreciate them chanting, but then how are we going to preach more than that? After that, how are we going to bring them to Krishna consciousness? Then we can tell, like, we should, to love God, we should know God, should have more information about Him. And some religions are impersonal, so we should explain why the impersonal aspect is stressed in their religions, and why actually God is a person, and how to actually love Him. If He has a name, that means He has a personality. How can He be not a person and just have a name? So then why his personality is not so much stressed in those religions is because they will think that, oh, person means it's like me, or like me and you, like imperfect, limited. So to remove that misconception, the personality is not so much stressed, but ultimately he's a person with transcendental qualities, and this is how, that's why in the Bible there is man is made in the image of God. That means God has an image and a form, that means, and he has a human-like form, which is Krishna. So we can extrapolate what they already have, and then present how we have the more extra information and the complete information about God. I mean, that's one example. I mean, we can go on many other things, but I don't want to expand too much on this. Yeah, we can always preach. And Prabhupada also, how he preached about meat eating, at least stop cows, don't kill mother. It's kind of common sense things which people don't see. Who? But not in the same intensity as we are doing. And you should take from Guru the authorized prescribed mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya also can be chanted, but there are so many medicines, like which is prescribed. The doctor should prescribe the medicine, not like I like this orange color bottle, I will buy this. No, I have to do what I am asked to do. That's all. I have to do the prescribed medicine and I have to take it. So do it in the proper way as prescribed by the Parampara, by the Acharya, by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's the proper way. Okay, I think we'll stop here. We'll discuss other questions at other times. Richa is saying, as a devotee, when you read and acquire knowledge, automatically we want to preach to others, be it Indian or any other race. Yes, we will understand that we are not limited to race at all. But it's just that other people, we just need to know how to present to them as well. All right, so thank you very much. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.